Okay, yeah, so again, at the water supply, we're in close contact with Darrell and the Civil Defense team, and we have had a discussion with our staff as early as this morning, what our plans are for possible different scenarios of various crossing locations. Our staff has identified key valve locations, things like that. For us, as a water utility, one benefit is that we do have some time to prepare. We're making phone calls for backup generators for our Kalapana Pahoa sources, although we know Roger's going to keep us energized. But, so again, we have our key valves identified. We've gone through this once before when Kalapana, Black Sand Beach, was inundated as well. So, we have various plans in place, but we're not going to know exactly what we need to do until we get a little bit closer to the crossing.
Thank you, Tiffany. I'm Karina Antonio, Keats Manager and Chief Engineer for the Department of Water Supply. I'd just like to add that you've heard Chief Darrell say that roads is critical. You heard HELCO say power is critical. Of course, water is critical. What we're thinking of at the Water Department, as Keith mentioned, is that we've talked about it, and basically it's a wait and see. But obviously, access to our water system is very important. Power to our water system is very important. So hopefully, we won't be faced with too much of a criticalness with those conditions, but it's a wait and see. Just so we all in this room can understand how we operate, maintain our system, and what may happen, may not happen. What we're hoping it won't happen is that we will have to isolate our water system. For example, we have 2 wells located in the Kianopoko area and 2 wells in the Pahoa, close to the school area. The unfortunate thing is the 2 wells on that end by the school are not operable at this time. We're procuring emergency contractor to get that online as soon as possible. The 2 wells in Kianopoko are operating fine. I'm not worried on that end because we can feed water from Ola Mountain View water system up to Pahoa, in fact. But if access or our ability to maintain our system, if the lava flow crosses over 130, we might have to isolate that system or that area between possibly Kianopoko and Pahoa. But the thing about the Pahoa wells is that, yeah, we're in the process of procuring an emergency contractor. Hopefully we can get that contract on board as soon as possible so that we can get our Pahoa well back online. Otherwise, it's a wait and see. Again, access is critical, power is critical. In fact, one of the things that we talked about in our operations is that we may have to, before lava flow inundation, we may have to house maybe a maintenance vehicle on the other side of the flow so that we can at least get to that area either through ferry or helicopter so that we can maintain the system that is cut off from the lava flow. But anyway, we're open to questions and other comments from the public at this point. As far as if the lava flow flows over where our water line is located, I would imagine that, most of our lines are buried 3 to 4 feet deep, yeah. And the heat of that lava will probably melt the gaskets on that pipeline. So I'm thinking already, if the lava flows over the water line, there will be huge water leakage. And whether or not we can sustain that kind of leakage, I'm not sure. We could, wait and see, and before we isolate or shut off systems. But I think the worst case would be we'd have to shut off the water system on both sides of that flow, and hopefully we can provide water on both sides of that flow. I mentioned earlier, we have wells located close to the Pahoa High School and wells in Kinopoko. I'm not worried on the Kinopoko side because of our ability to transport water from the Ola Mountain View system. I'm worried about where our wells are located by the Pahoa High School, where I mentioned earlier that we're procuring an emergency contractor to get that online as soon as possible.